2007, what a great time to be alive! You've got John Howard, you've got Sea Patrol premiering on Channel 9, you've got Nokia 3110s, woo! For me though, 2007 was a realization of what the A-League actually was. It's not the rebirth of football in Australia, reuniting the tribes, streamlining the next golden generation. No, it's a bunch of uncoordinated Anglos doing ham-fisted efforts at being competent footballers and failing miserably. And I love it! It's so stupid, it's fucking garbage, it's a burning tire fire, it always has been, it always will be. These are the peak moments of 2007. Now, for most functioning adults, it's only natural to fantasize about choking Kevin Muscat, mainly out of frustration. For me, strictly sexual. Sadly, the only person who has gotten to know the rush of such a sensation is John Kosmina. Now, let's make something perfectly clear. I cannot stress enough how big a douchebag these two actually are. They need to donate their bodies to science when they die and let medical experts research why they are the way they are. And quite frankly, I don't know how I went 4 sentences talking about either of them without using the phrase cunt once. Now, let's talk about the incident. It's very rare to see an Australian crowd get hyped up for something outside of a Mexican wave, let alone a common throw-in. But when you get to see John Kosmina go ass over tit, now, that would have been enough for me. I mean, I was already pitching a tent at this point. But to know that John Kosmina got to go 50 Shades of Grey on Kevin Muscat and choke him while maintaining eye contact, we are truly spoiled in the A-League. One thing I will say in Kosmina's defense is Muscat does have a very chokeable neck, and a very punchable face, and a very fuckheadable fucking head. The end result was Muscat copped a yellow card for endangering a Bunnings chair, I guess, while Kosmina got 6 weeks on the sidelines. Also, let's give some love to those plastic Bunnings chairs, seen across every sideline at an A-League game or upon a housing commission patio. What's the easiest way to make a professional league look unprofessional than having $40 of plastic lawn chairs scattered across our sidelines for a good decade? Mario Jardel, the man, the myth, the legend. Who would believe that our little footballing backwaters could ever attract someone of the caliber of a European Golden Boot winner? Now, sure, a European Golden Boot winner sounds exciting, but so was David Taylor. Who the fuck's David Taylor? The reality was Jardel was a coked out of shape has-been who offered as much to Australian football as Clyde Palmer did for politics. Or for football. After doing fuck all for 5 years, Cotton Constantine dragged him from the dizzying heights of the Cyprus First Division and signed him up to a marquee contract. You want to know why he was signed up to a marquee contract? Because some fruit grocer who worked at Parklea Markets showed a YouTube clip of him from 2001. Getting peak A-League vibes already! The CEO of Newcastle had to drop him off at Paul's Warehouse to buy him some boots. Say what you want about Rudy Gestede, but I guarantee you he brought his own pair of boots. Also, he was fat. That's not subjective either. It is truly amazing to see someone called fat multiple times by their very own Wikipedia page. He is straight up getting roasted by an open-sourced encyclopedia. There's very little footage of his time at Newcastle, but the few images that there are, he's always wearing a shirt that is 2 sizes too big, drenched in sweat, with this look on his face like he's yearning for death. Nonetheless, he's still got a champion's medal, which shouldn't come as a surprise given this was a time where Christian Sarkis and Norm Sekulowski were employable commodities. Anyway, I'm sure that medal hasn't ended up in a Brazilian pawn shop. Anyway, this is the part of the video where I show a picture of Mark Warren on a motorcycle! Of course, if we're bringing up peak A-League moments, it'd be remiss of me not to bring up Archie Thompson's unforgettable performance on that warm, faithful night in Melbourne.
Archie Thompson! Archie Thompson! Archie Thompson! For Archie Thompson! Thompson!
No, not that night. I'm talking about the night he spent with Ed Phillips and Lavinia Nixon on Sale of the Century.
Welcome back to Temptation. It's our Battle of the Footy Codes. Out of control already. The boys from the NSL.
Please welcome striker extraordinaire Archie Thompson.
Boys from the NSL. Gentlemen, Archie, you getting comfy?
I'm getting ready.
According to the proverb, people who live in glass houses, Archie...
Yeah.
Which big screen, Charlie's Angel, is the... Archie? Archie, over here to the famous faces. Who do you want?
Ben Dark. Sorry,
Let's get you a prize. Awesome money.
You've just given your viewers Green Thumb a helping hand with these professional gardening tools, including a pruner and sharpening stone.
Who recently became the first Australian to score a goal in the Asian Champions, Archie?
Archie?
All right, let's go. Which state is home to the A-League team nicknamed... Archie?
You that one. You that one. You that one. You that one.
So let's go to meet the famous faces right now. Okay, Archie, it's your choice. Who will it be?
I like Hillary Duff.
Of course you do. Here she comes.
Turbo.
We've seen the Turbo bob up a bit during our Battle of the Footy Codes.
I don't know.
Kazoo.
In
Celtic.
Maybe it's because my taste in humour hasn't evolved since I was 6 years old, but seeing a man copy get square in the nuts is the peak of comedy.
This contest is over. Give that man the $10,000.
This isn't America's Funniest Home Videos.
Let me just go on record in saying that hitting a man in the nuts is not very cash money. But you know what else is rather piss weak? Dishing out a yellow card for it and receiving no further sanctions. What a miscarriage of justice. A miscarriage upon an undercarriage. Without a doubt, the most testing part of this incident was seeing the mainstream media explore the depths of their creativity in finding an appropriate way to say cock punch.
Jab into the midriff. You might be a bit generous in saying it was his midriff. I think it might have been a bit lower than that.
I personally would have called it a good old-fashioned fist bump to the dick. Or maybe some of the finest man-on-man action you can see outside of Pornhub. Also, I'd like to point out that Joel Griffiths was not a 6-year-old child at the time, but rather a 28-year-old grown man with no evident learning disabilities.
Hey, Fred, how'd you go?
No problem, but they didn't check my undies.
Terry Butcher. The British invasion came and went in the hands of this man. This man with poor posture, rickety knees, dressed like he had a passion for the fashion at Lowe's. His time at Sydney was always clouded with a sense of forthcoming doom, when at his very first press conference, he was photographed holding a Sydney Till I Die scarf. Probably because Sydney Till I Reach a Mutual Termination with the boardroom was too long to fit. Butcher's trademark hoofball tactics desecrating our pitches weren't that entertaining. What was entertaining, however, was his tit-for-tat drama with SBS presenter Craig Foster, photographed here after seemingly forgetting his shirt. As Craig once quilled,
"The match between Sydney FC and Perth Glory was one of the poorest I've had the displeasure to watch in this country. It was so poor, so low in invention and quality of football, that one was made to question whether this was a match played in 2007 or in 1907.
Of course, Terry didn't bend over and take that. He retorted with, "Talking of England, you once stated that you had your best footballing experiences while playing for Crystal Palace under the leadership of your favourite coach, one Terry Venables. Was that when the London side was relegated or failed again to achieve promotion?" But if we're going to bring up petulant squabbles involving Foster and coaching talent, who could pass up the folklore of...
I mean, you can't just point to the players. You've got to take responsibility yourself, don't you? You said it's things over a number of years, one of which might be the coach. Yeah. Saying that you lost to Laos. I watched them against China, they were rubbish. Against South Korea, they should have beat us 8-1.
If you're going to be critical of me, and that's fine, I'm in a game where you're going to be critical, get it right. Okay, just do your research. You say we lost to Laos. We drew 0-0 with Laos.
To be honest, I haven't looked because we're out, so...
in terms of my coaching quality, I'd love you to come down to a session, mate, because in the 6 years I've been in charge, haven't seen you at a qualifier.
You're not paid to win training sessions, Ange. I think you should put your hand up and say, in the last 2 qualification campaigns, I've failed and I'm paid to do it. That's what you're paid for,
so you're saying I should resign. So you're saying I should resign?
I think
that's
you should,
your opinion. Is that right?
That's my opinion.
Okay, fine.
Now guys, something has been weighing on my mind for quite some time now. 15 years in fact, which is incredible because it happened 13 years ago. And even to this day, every time I see it, I'm like, what the fuck? I hear the term peak A-League bantered around for pretty much anything nowadays, but for me, peak A-League was the time Ian Fife tried to clear a soccer ball with his nutsack. 13 years later, and I'm still no closer to comprehending this moment. What was the best possible scenario here? That he was going to thrust the ball over the sideline with his Ron Jeremy-sized appendage? Look, I've been around the grounds in my years, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't in the playbook. Unless, of course, that playbook was entitled How to Get a Shitty YouTube Video Made Mocking Your Decision-Making Skills 14 Years After the Fact. Was he trying to head the ball away but misjudged it by a good 80 centimeters? This happened in a professional football game. Why did he cock it to Joel Griffiths? Why is there so much dick-related content with Joel Griffiths? I've tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it just hit his hip. But I've analysed this footage hundreds of times. That hit his dick. That hit him cold in the cock. I'm no professional, but generally speaking, I try not to get my dick involved when playing football.
Eyes the wall. Eyes Clint Bolton's goal. It's a bender! It's a classic! It is a Beckham! It's a Beckham! Beckham!
Let's be honest, 2007 was a terrible year, a complete write-off. The only redeemable event to happen that year was...
What's wrong with the world, mama? People living like they ain't got no mamas. I think the whole world's addicted to the drama, only attracted to things that'll bring you trauma.
But if you only have love for your own race, well then you only leave space to discriminate. And to discriminate only generates hate. And when you hate, well then you're bound to get irate. Yeah.
Good comeback. Smoking.